a little bit of
All right.
cat
Okay. Yeah. There you go. You can do that this afternoon.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah.
So I think most importantly, it is important to have confidence in your decision that you made. To number one, know that Mary Kay is absolutely the very best opportunity out there for women, hands down. I would put our marketing plan up against any marketing plan any day of the week. So it gives you a lot of confidence to know that you made a great decision. The opportunity that Mary Kay offers women in so many ways, not only financially, but as well as just the relationships and the ability to have your priorities in order and those kind of things. It's unparalleled. I mean, Mary Kay is absolutely the gold standard when it comes to direct sales companies. You ask anyone else high up in a direct sales company, they try to model themselves after Mary Kay because they are the most successful and they are the best. And they have a system, they have it figured out, and it works. And so you're able to come into a company with a 50-year solid history that has things figured out, how it works, how it doesn't work, and we'll tell you everything you need to know. And step by step by step, it's all laid out. You don't have to figure out a lot of stuff on your own. You have options and choices. You could do it A, B, or C way, and you decide what you get excited about, but I'll still give you the ABC ways. Okay, and so then you still have that freedom to be able to do that. Then knowing that there's a specific success plan, a specific success system, and there's a wealth of training out there. Some important things to know if someone asks you, is Mary Kay like a pyramid company? You might have had someone say that. Number one, pyramid companies are illegal, so of course we're not one. But what Mary Kay actually is, when it comes to direct sales companies, the other option is there are multi-level companies, and that's where people buy in at different levels. They buy $100 at this level, and they buy $1,000 at this level, or $10,000 at this level. Those are legal, and there's companies out there that are that. Mary Kay purposely is not, because she wanted everyone to start at the same place, and then they get to promote themselves. Because if I start at the $1,000 level and you start at the $100 level, I can't teach you how to get to the $1,000 level because I never had to. So that was something that was important to Mary Kay, that everyone starts at the exact same place so that we get to have authenticity and integrity to be able to tell you, here's what I did, and I'll teach you how to do exactly what I did to take the steps to be to the place where I am. And you will trust that because you know that I started with the same starter kit that you have. It's a little different. Yours is cooler. The starter kit's definitely getting cooler. But so Mary Kay is what's called a dual marketing system, and that basically means that everything is between you and the company. I'm not really even necessary. I'm here to serve you and here to help you. You don't have to talk to me ever again if you don't want to. You can completely do your own business. But of course it helps you and it helps us both to be successful to work together. That basically what that means is that you do all your financial transactions directly to the company. Okay, so it's not you're going through me to someone else. It's directly to Mary Kay. There's no middleman. Everyone gets their product at the 50% discount from day one. And so there's one wholesale purchase of you buying from the company, and then there's one retail sale of you selling to your customers. And that's it. And I think it's simpler. Dividing in half is easy math. Thank goodness. And so that makes it easy. So it's important for you to know how the company is set up, what the structure looks like. And if you have people that are questions, is that one of those pyramid things? You can make an educated answer on why we are not that and why you chose Mary Kay. Another neat thing about the company, which you might have probably heard me say before, is that the company is 100% debt-free. As a multi-billion-dollar international company in 36 countries around the world, it's completely debt-free. So that gives you a lot of confidence, knowing that Mary Kay's not going anywhere. There have been other direct sales companies that have had to file bankruptcy or have gone through different difficult things, that you're not going to have to worry about that with Mary Kay. You have been here 50 years, and you're going to be here the next 50 years. They're not going anywhere. Another thing that I think is really unique about Mary Kay is that Mary Kay is a company that's designed to make individuals successful, which is you. If you look at most other companies, especially out there in corporate America, everything they do is designed to make the company more successful, or to make the company more money. For example, a few years ago, Avon contracted to start being sold in JCPenney and Sears. Well, Mary Kay, everyone came to Mary Kay, aren't you going to do that? Well, would Mary Kay make more money if they did that? Yeah, sure. If they sold directly to the customer and they didn't have to pay us a commission, they would make more money. But Mary Kay's priority is not to make more money. Their priority is to make individuals successful. And if they did that, that takes business away from us. And so the company said, absolutely not. We will never, ever do that. We will never do anything to undercut our sales force. And so I think it's really important that you know what the company has your back. And there's two parts of the company. There's that sales force, which is us, and then there's the corporate employees that actually make all the products and make all the magazines and do all of those things for us. So there's kind of those two aspects of the company. And of course, we're part of that sales force. Within Mary Kay is kind of where we have our family tree in Mary Kay. And so everyone starts as a consultant, and then as a consultant, you are part of a unit. Okay, and so there's the head person of that unit who's the lead trainer, basically, is the sales director. So you, as a consultant, you have a recruiter, and then you also have a sales director. Now, sometimes it's the same person. You have the person that kind of sponsors you, and you have the sales director that you're a part of. And then as sales directors, we are within the family of a national area. So our national sales director is Deb Pike. She lives in Omaha, Nebraska, really neat lady. One of the training CDs that I give you at MK University has her on it. And so we get to see her a couple times a year at our events, big events that we do. So we're part of that national area as Deb Pike. And then within the national areas are divided up into different divisions within the company. And that's not really geographically, it's just kind of randomly as it's grown. They kind of just keep the divisions even amounts of people. Mainly that's just for seminar, because our big annual end of the year celebration is called Seminar, and that's in Dallas, Texas, and that is by division because they can't have all million people there at the same time. So there's 5 different divisions. So we are in the Pearl division. So Rachel Bullock unit, Deb Pike national area, and then the Pearl division. And then our goal this year is that we are building our own national area. So that's my goal in the next year, to become a national sales director. And so part of that is building sales directors. So that's who I look for, is people who want to be leaders within the company, move into a sales director position, because to become a national sales director, we build 20 directors. And so that's what my focus and goal is, as well as helping those reach what their goals are within their business, and also looking for those that want to move into that leadership position, because that puts us in that national sales director. Mary Kay is actually the only direct sales company that offers a retirement plan. So for the national sales directors, they get a retirement package. That is amazing, and that's really my big motivation in getting there, is having that family security plan. If anything happens to me, my family gets taken care of. And there's of course a million more perks as well at that level, but that kind of breaks it down into how you know where you fit into the Mary Kay family tree, kind of what all those words are. I kind of jokingly talk about that Mary Kay has its own language, and there's all this vocabulary words that you'll learn as you go. And so, I hear this word thrown about all the time, and I don't know what that means, but okay, red chocolate, what does red chocolate mean? We'll talk about that. And so those kind of things, so kind of sometimes have that vocabulary, and the more you're around it, you learn it. Most important thing to know when you're a branding consultant is there's only one way to fail in Mary Kay, and that is if you quit. That's it. Because you make a decision that you're never going to quit, you'll succeed. And it doesn't matter what that path looks like, or how much money that looks like, or how long that takes. It doesn't matter. The only way that you ever fail in Mary Kay is if you quit. And so when you make that decision that, I'm a Mary Kay for life, and so I'm here forever. And so it doesn't matter if that hostess cancels on you and she wants to hold a party next year. I'm still going to be here next year. So, you don't want to ever just, I'm going to just give it 3 months and see what happens. At the very least, you have to give it a year, because I think you have to see that full year cycle to see that success in Mary Kay. But when you make that decision that, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, even if it's on a very part-time basis, I love this company, I'm never going to do anything else, I'm passionate about it, and then that becomes a filter that you see everything through, so that when you have a rude person, it's like, oh well, I'm not basing my whole business on if she's rude to me or not. I'm not basing my whole business on this one party that doesn't go the way that I thought it was going to do. It's a total flop. When you make that decision, then those things are much easier to handle, because you can just roll with it. Keep in mind, you don't have a story till something goes wrong. So there will be lots of times things go wrong, and then you just have a really funny story. And the most successful people have the most funny stories. Trust me, we could be here all day telling stories of crazy people that I've encountered and crazy things that have happened, so it makes it fun. there's three main skills that you want to really master that are going to either make or break your Mary Kay business. And that's what we'll spend a lot of time on today is those three areas. And number one is money management. Number two is time management. And number three is attitude management. So if you ever find yourself frustrated, you probably need to improve in one of those three areas. Money, time, or attitude. There's probably a missing link or something that's not happening or not working together. I think one of the biggest parts about being your own boss and being successful is there's no one else's job to motivate you. You have to motivate yourself. And so that's where having those goals, having those dreams are in place. And one of the most important things that I suggest doing is to make a dream book. And this is one of your assignments when you leave here. And so here's a little sheet on how to create your dream book and what that looks like. I'll show you mine in a minute. I forgot to get that over there. But it could be a journal, it could be a 3-ring binder, it could be whatever that looks like. And this is something you're just going to constantly add to. Okay, so it's fun to do with your husband and sit down and say, okay, if we could live in any house, what would it be? I already know the address of my dream house. You know, it's right down the road. And I would go and sit in front of it and make booking calls down the street from it because that was my motivation and visualization. I have a picture of it on my phone. I mean, you know, I have those things. And so, you know, what does that dream look like? I mean, in my dream book are the college, you know, pictures of college educations for my kids and, you know, list of all the places that I want to go visit. You know, part of our dream is to have a fishing pond. My husband can fish in his pajamas whenever he wants to, because that's what he loves to do. So, you know, it's fun to dream. And I think as kids, we're really good at it. And then somehow along the way, you become an adult and we're not supposed to dream anymore. So have time to dream. You know, what are organizations that you would love to be able to give generously and abundantly to? Things that are close to your heart. You write those things down. You put those lists on there. I remember our very first house. I had a long list of everything that I wanted in that very first house that we bought, and everything was in that house. I mean, the walk-in closet to the backyard to an office downstairs and a bedroom upstairs. I mean, the little details to a jacuzzi tub. I mean, all of that was in our first home, amazingly. And so because we focused on these things. So those dreams are important. So kind of in the front of that dream book are things that you're working on. And here's some questions that can help you do that. Look through magazines, pick up old magazines, and I'm in a doctor's office, I flip through a magazine, and I see a picture of a kitchen that's beautiful, I just rip the page right out. I'm not going to even know it's an ad, okay? So you work in a doctor's office, you can understand. But accumulate those, you know, and just the more visualization that you can have of what you want that life to look like, the better. You put those things in there. And then in that back part of that dream book, you put the things that you've already accomplished, you know, so you put pictures of some of the trips that you've gotten to go on with Mary Kay or some of the prizes that you've gotten to earn. And it just, on the days that you're not feeling real great, it's really nice to look at that and say, hey, I am doing okay. Even though today it doesn't feel like I have done some things. And look what the blessings that have come into my life because of Mary Kay. And, you know, keep track of some of the things that you can do with your Mary Kay Fund money. And one of the things that I suggest when we come to our money management is not only having your checking account that is your Mary Kay business account, but you also open a dream account, which is probably just a savings account. And you start putting aside $5 from each party or $1 from each face or whatever. You decide what that looks like. And it's just it can be small, but it's something that you're setting aside a little bit of money towards that first dream that Mary Kay's going to pay for. So maybe it's pick out one thing that you feel like can come true in the next 6 months with your Mary Kay Fund money. You know, maybe it's a trip somewhere or something for your home, something to surprise your husband with, or but something that's not a ton of money, that maybe $100 or something like that you can go ahead and say right now, I'm earning money to surprise my husband with a trip to Gatlinburg or whatever. And not only do women love that and they feel like, okay, wow, that looks good from you, that it's helping you to surprise your husband with something special. Absolutely, I would love to do that. But it gives you a tangible result. And even though, yes, you're going to have expenses and yes, you're going to, pay those things off, that dream account is still equally important to just put a little bit in there and you decide what that amount looks like. Whether it's a percentage, whether it's a set amount per party or per week or something like that. To just put a little bit in there so that in 6 months you can say, man, I wanted to earn a dishwasher or wanted to earn a trampoline for their backyard. I mean, there's lots of different things you can say. I wanted to get this, but at least they can feel like a chip away at that. So, dream book is on your assignment list, number one. So I would take a blank piece of paper and write like homework, because we'll kind of have some different homework assignments that we'll add to that. So number one is dream book. So creating your dream book. And number two would be your dream account. Setting up a small savings account you can deposit into. And that's really where your attitude management comes in. Is one of the most important things that I have found that's successful in helping keep you in that right mindset with Mary Kay is, of course, being connected with your local events. Being at that meeting every single week. I always kind of call it's like gas for your car. I mean, you have to fill up your car probably once a week, and once out of gas, it doesn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. And the same is true with Mary Kay. That's kind of like that's where you get your tank filled back up at those Mary Kay meetings, and getting that plugged into that. Is it a requirement? No, it's completely your own business. Everything is optional. But being in that, being in that environment, just you walk out of there feeling great and feeling so empowered. And of course, the learning and the training is excellent. Just being in that environment is really, really key. And so, your weekly meetings are huge. And then just, of course, you're plugged in through like the Facebook group where we'll post motivational things and ideas and stuff like that, and you're getting those things. As well as, I would really encourage you on your homework list. And this is on the one of the checklists that you have, but it's to sign up for the Insight CD series. And where you do that is you go on Mary Kay in Touch. I'll show you when we get on the computer, and click on Education. And then you go to MK Media, I think it's called, and search for, MK in Touch, Education, MK Media Source, and then look for Insight. It's INCITE. And it's a CD subscription. And for $5 a month, you get 2 training CDs automatically sent to you from Mary Kay. Best $5 you'll ever spend. Sacrifice the Starbucks to have those. And just put those in your car. And then I always have an endless supply of CDs that I'll let you borrow and use and give you copies and things like that, that you can listen to as well. And then you can load them in your iPhone or iTunes, or just have them in the car. But if you just make a point that every day you listen to some form of training CD, vocabulary gets in your head, the wording is getting in your head, just back and forth from work. But if you just make it a habit to do that, you'll be amazed how much you'll learn. And just surrounding yourself with those people that are thinking bigger, that are challenging you, and pushing you to do better and better. So having that habit of listening to some kind of Mary Kay training CD every day, or there's all those online classes, and that's where the Silver Ring Scholar program comes in, the Power Classes event that's on Mary Kay in Touch. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my website. But just, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, especially right before you go to bed, because that's when it sticks in your brain the best. But just have something that you are filling your mind with, that gets you in that mindset every single day. As well as, then we have our weekly meetings. We have occasional, maybe every quarter workshops, things like that we get to go to with local national sales directors and things like that. So we have some of those that are available. And then from the company standpoint, we have 3 major events per year. The first one is Career Conference, which happens in the spring, which you're coming to. Yay! That's in Louisville. It's usually at a local city near wherever you are. And that's really neat because it's where the company comes and puts that on for us, which is really cool. Then our second major event is Seminar, which is always in July or August in Dallas, because in Mary Kay, our fiscal year runs from July 1st to June 30th. So our fiscal year ends June 30th, and so then we have a huge celebration in July. Now, this year's seminar is going to be our 50th anniversary seminar, so it is going to be the party to end all parties. I mean, they have been planning this for years of what they're going to do with this seminar. So to be your first seminar would be amazing, amazing. But I mean, it is, and you get to bring your husband to that. It's a great one to bring your husband to. A lot of husbands come to that. Even have special husband classes and husband activities and stuff. But I mean, it is beyond words incredible. So registration will start for that probably like in April, and then you can kind of divide up, things wrong. I've driven it many times, or get your plane ticket and line up your expenses, so it's not too bad over the course of several months. But you get trained by the very, very best. You can go tour the headquarters, then see the Mary Kay Museum, and you can go see the manufacturing plant. My husband loves seeing that, where they make all the products and stuff. It's really interesting. So your husband will love it, of course, especially. But it's really, really neat to do that. So that's our big, big event. Very motivational, very, very educational as well. And then we have a retreat in the fall. So we usually have a fall retreat that's with our national sales director. So those are really the three major events for consultants and as directors. We have a leadership conference we go to in January. But those are your bigger things. I kind of call those your oil changes. So you have to get your oil changed every 3 months too, right? Or however often to keep your car going as well. And so very important to just invest in yourself. Because the more that you're in that environment around people who are where you want to be and who think the way that you're wanting to think, it allows you to continue to grow and continue to develop. And those are the people who are most successful and ones that definitely stay involved with those events. You can have those on your schedule. I think this is a great thing to keep in your little notebook. It kind of walks you through the attitude and emotional cycle, because you probably will recognize that you've already gone through this. I was really excited, and I'm frustrated because my stuff is not getting organized, or this person didn't come when they said they were going to come or something, and then you just kind of get scared, and then you go, well, why did I start anyway? I really was fine in my job. I can keep things the way they are, so then you kind of get frustrated, and then you just really committed. And learning the different stages on this cycle, it helps you recognize, oh, hey, I'm in this stage right now. This is what I'm feeling. This is normal that I'm feeling this way. So let's move through it and we can get around it. We still go through this. I still go through this multiple times each day. But it's just the more you learn those stages, the quicker you can move through them and get to that next one and get back to that recommitment and that excitement and enthusiasm. So you have moments of fear. You have moments of frustration. That's perfectly normal, okay? So don't think there's anything wrong with you. I think it's important to know you're going to have these feelings, and they're just feelings. So you can work through them, and that's why you stay plugged in, and that's why you stay connected. And there can be days that you just pick up the phone and be like, oh, I just need you to talk to me for a few minutes or whatever. I'm fine. You're never ever bothering me, ever. All right. So don't ever feel bad about asking questions, texting me, calling me, whatever. That's what I'm here for. And if I'm not available, I'll get back to you when I am available. So you're not ever going to be interrupting. But we have those times for like that, so that's okay. So just keeping yourself in that mindset is really helpful. Having those CDs that you're listening to, plug into the online resources and the tools, your weekly events, as well as your the quarterly and annual things too. And that really helps you keep that attitude and relationship. Great thing to keep in mind about Mary Kay is that Mary Kay is a skills-based business. That means that as you grow your skills, as you grow your knowledge, then you have more confidence. That confidence replaces fear. So the people who are the most successful in Mary Kay are not people that knew the right people or looked the right way or had the right degree. None of that matters. It's people that invested in learning and applying what they learned and went for it. So Mary Kay is completely skills-based. So knowing that confidence is always going to replace your fear. Yay. So that makes it really easy to do. Your first goals in your business are, number one, your power start. Okay? And so that's your 30 faces in 30 days is a power start. A great way to do it is 5 parties of 6 people. That's absolutely the easiest, simplest, because it's much less time than all the different 30 individual facials. So 5 parties of 6 people is really what I aim for. And of course, the other number that you want to know is that 50% of appointments are going to move. Okay, so if you schedule 5 parties, half of them are going to move to a different date or something like that, and half of them are going to stay on that date. So that's okay. So if you know that up front, if you want to book 5 parties, you don't hold. If you want to hold 5 parties, you don't book 5. You book 8. If you book 8, you'll hold 5. If you book 10, you'll hold 6 or 7, so that's where you kind of those rules of thumb to keep in mind. And so your power start is your 30 faces, and this is something that you're going to do again and again and again. So repeat, put it on repeat, and it starts whenever you do that first face. So it can be the 10th through the 10th or the 20th to the 20th. It doesn't matter. That you can make those 30 days. But then as soon as you finish, you want to go do it again. You want to go do it again. And so you just, the more power start consecutively you do, the closer you get to a free car, the more consistent you get in your business, your income, all those things increase. So it's just, if you always are focused on 30 days in 30 days or 5 parties in 30 days, it's going to put you where you want to be. And then your second goal, or the P, so one is P for Power Start, 2 is profit level product, and that's building to a full store level, which for most people is probably that 3,600 wholesale is a full store. And most people doing it part-time. So building up to it or starting with it, getting to that place that you can have that profit level. And then number 3 is your pearls of sharing. And so that's going to do their sharing appointments. And some will do together, and some will do, coming to events and coming to the meeting events and stuff like that. But when you do 3, you get pearl earrings. And when you do 6, you get your pearl bracelet. And when you do 9, you get a pearl necklace. And when you get your first 2, you get a pearl necklace. So it's exciting. And you get a little enhancer for your Mary Kay pin too. So that's exciting, your first team member. So that's, there's your pearls of sharing, which means you're going to have your pearls of sharing done this week. So that's pretty easy. It makes it really easy. All right, any questions so far on any of that? No? Okay, okay. So the things you already heard, right? You're like, oh, I already knew that. That's review. That's good. We go into that a little bit more. So we talked about the attitude management. We went through the CDs. Another thing you'll hear us talk a lot about is affirmations in Mary Kay, and that's a really great skill to develop early on. And that is, where you kind of have some positive first-person present tense statements of, I love holding 5 parties every month, and I love a great driving my Mary Kay free car, and everyone wants to book with me, and I love holding $300 weeks every week. Just some of those simple sentences that just affirm in you that I am great at this, and you kind of just retrain your brain so that those different messages are playing in your head, and you'll continue to learn more about that and grow more about it. So let's talk about what is available to you in Mary Kay as far as the career path and what those different steps look like. Pause this a second.